first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's.
All right, 8 o'clock, live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday night, March 26, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, Real America's Voice. Glad you're in, everybody. Busy night. It's going to be a busy show. Slick Rick's right there. He's going to... Well, he just came from the set of Guys and Dolls, and he's going to have some sports tonight. Slick looking good in that tight pinstripe Guys and Dolls suit.
Yep, thank you.
How was your day?
Gangsta. The day was good, just very busy, very busy.
Very busy?
Yeah, like everybody. I feel bad when I say I'm busy. Everybody's busy nowadays.
Yeah,
you know?
Sure.
I mean, you look up, you get up, it's 7 o'clock. Next thing you know, it's 12 o'clock. You go, oh my God, I got to go do the show. It's almost 7:30.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right. Well, Slick will have sports. Anything big coming up in sports tonight?
Well, we're going to preview the Sweet 16. Big tournament tomorrow night. Come on! And I won't be here tomorrow night. I got a very important engagement I have to go to, but I will certainly want to preview the games tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about Michael Jordan's rookie jersey selling for big bucks.
Slick, the question would be, what's more important than me and Rick Delgado?
Yeah.
Wow, this is an Education Foundation gala, Big D. I have to go to. I'm on an advisory board. I got to make an appearance. I make most of the shows, but I'll be there Friday night. We're going to be back at the warehouse Friday night.
Yes, we will.
I'll be there finally for Friday night show.
Well, you weren't there last Friday.
I'm going to bring my TV dinner for that table you give them, and I want to check out those chairs.
You're not going to have a table.
Uh-oh.
So what do you think of that, tough guy?
No table. All right.
Well, we may lose the tables. I'm
going to be working the floor.
I like the table.
I'm going to be working the floor.
Well, yeah. See, Delgado has to do the news. Me and Aaron we're having a bit of discussion on this because we're doing this to make improvements. But I don't know how they do it without something in front of them to have their computers. Can't hold them on their lap.
Exactly.
Well, that's why I call them laptops.
The news,
I call them laptops for that reason.
We got to do something. So we're going to figure it out. But
okay.
So no Slick tomorrow night, no Vin tomorrow night, I don't believe, and no Paul tomorrow night. So Delgado, you know what that leaves?
Oh my goodness.
That leaves me and you.
I got to take the night off tomorrow, by the way.
All right, good.
Cage match. He's going to be a cage match.
That leaves just me and the audience tomorrow night. Which is well, it is what it is.
Yeah. That'd be a depressing show. 2 hours of that? No, you can't do that to these people.
That's just mean, Slick. It hurts my feelings.
Well, I don't want to hurt your feelings.
You already
I'm
did.
just
So.
calling it what it is, like you do.
Exactly.
That's a good point. Rick Delgado, how are you? Is Aaron laughing at that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Never.
How are you, Delgado?
I'm good. Erin laughs at everything. She's the best.
Yeah. You know who laughed a lot was the audience last night in the first hour and 15 minutes. You guys were great.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I was joking in the audience. I was texting, of course, that I was going to go stop for ice cream because I was watching the show in the car with my son driving, and I didn't feel like any reason for me to be here.
Meanwhile, we kept plugging you were going to be here.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
That was our big tease.
Yeah, that was the big thing in the show.
But I actually thought about it for a second. I thought, well, maybe I should just go take the kid for dessert. They don't really need me because you guys were great.
Yeah, people were waiting for you. They love you.
Well, just take the compliment, Slick. How about that?
No, I will. I mean, I know.
Might be the last one you ever get from me.
I think exactly.
Well, thank you, Damon.
Thank you,
take
Damon.
No, I thought you guys were good last night.
Absolutely. It was a
Audience
good
said they
show.
were having a great time, and of course, I got the proverbial. Oh, the show's so much better when Damon's not there.
There you go. See, there's the depression side.
Yeah, but
tropical depression Damon moving in.
No, it's not. I didn't make the comments.
But they say that when any of us.
Someone said on Twitter. Someone sent it to me on Twitter. They said it was such a nice show with Mr. Know-It-All not there. I said Delgado was there.
Well,
hey,
James Reed in the YouTube chat. He says 2 hours of Damon talking to himself. I'll pass.
Okay, that's fine. You have. There's plenty to watch. You can pass. That's fine. You will not hurt my feelings. I don't blame
James
you.
Reed.
So, well, no, Delgado's going to be here tomorrow night.
Yeah, we'll be here.
You're not taking the night off,
No,
right?
I'm not taking
No,
the
he's
night
just
off.
joking.
I'm
So
gonna
it's me and
power
Delgado.
through. I'll power through.
So it's going to be a night of ancient aliens back and forth. That's all we're going to talk about.
Did you find out?
What?
Big story breaking.
Big story.
Big story. I'm going to save
story.
it. I'm not going to talk about it right now. I'm saving it.
Okay.
Because this is big stuff.
I'm sure it is.
It is.
Big D has what? Carvel flying saucers in the freezer? Is that what it is?
No.
Okay.
Actually, it's very ancient.
Colored sprinkles or chocolate?
Ancient.
Oh, ancient, something ancient?
Oh, ancient
Okay.
Chinese secret. He's doing laundry tomorrow night.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this is oof.
Okay.
If true,
On the edge of my seat.
if true, this could be insane.
Really? Wow,
Yes.
what a tease that is.
Oh, Epstein list?
All right, let's go to our daily Epstein.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Turn the page on that. Yep,
This
there you
bit's
go.
getting so lame. All right, let's now go to our Epstein Daily Update and hear what that is. Rick Delgado, Epstein file drop update for today is.
Wait.
Whew.
All right.
There it is.
There it is.
We got. All
right.
There's a whole lot of that.
All right, thank you, Rick Delgado. There's your Epstein file drop update for Wednesday, March 26th. We'll have another one tomorrow night, March 27th. Delgado, anything else? Well, besides this story that you're teasing, anything else in the news today catch your attention? What's coming up in the news?
It's all Signalgate.
Yeah.
It's all Signalgate.
You know, here's the thing. This is where I'm at with this. At this point, why are we still giving it oxygen in these long debates I'm seeing with administration officials?
Yeah.
These long debates. Why? Move on. It was a mistake. somebody made the mistake. I don't know if it was Waltz. I don't know if it was Alex Wong. I don't know if it's somebody who worked for Alex Wong. I don't. At this point, who knows? Maybe they can get to the bottom of it and they can let us know. I think the president probably deserves to know. He's put on a good front. I heard him today saying, that someone brought up Pete Hexes. Pete Hexes. What the hell's Pete Hexes have to do with it?
Right.
He said Mike Waltz has taken this. He clearly, as of right now, is not going to fire Waltz or Hexeth. He hasn't said anything about it. So why don't we just move on at this point? We've all now read, because the slimy Goldberg put everything out, at least put out what he says is just about everything. We've all read it. And if you read it, I think most Americans who voted for this administration read that and see some pretty thoughtful, smart people going about real important business.
Right.
Should it have been out there? No. Should it have been on Signal? No. Was it classified? I would say that has to be considered classified.
Probably, yeah.
And here's how you can judge where you should be on your barometer. If this was the guy who runs that outfit over there, you remember that guy that we talked about for 4 years? Mm-hmm. And he did this, just think about what you'd be saying if you saw that and said, is that classified? So you got to use the same barometer.
Right. You know what they'd be saying? It's racist to bring it up. That's what they would say.
Right.
Right? They'd throw it around. They'd make it a racial thing. They'd be like, you people don't know what you're talking about. And again, no sources or methods were revealed. If anything, they're kind of talking it through. Again, classified? Probably. But when you think about what they were talking about, things that were already laid out and in motion. So it's what they call a nothing. You know what, to coin a phrase, at this point, what difference does it make? I believe was once said.
I think maybe it makes a little bit of difference to the president. I think he needs to know the loyalty of the people around him are what he thinks it is. And I mean, not to jump on Waltz. I don't really know Waltz that well, but I thought his appearance on Laura Ingraham was questionable at best to go on and do that. I don't know why he felt like he had a run there. But I also saw today Paul Sperry, investigative reporter, put out something that the FEC records for Waltz. By the way, remember, he's an ex-Cheney aide, Michael Waltz, now Trump's national security advisor, who, quote-unquote, accidentally, I think, people are not trusting Waltz, accidentally leaked to The Atlantic, because he says he doesn't know Jeffrey Goldberg. Right. Now people are pulling pictures of him standing next to him at some event in the past years. He contributed $8,150 to people like Mitt Romney, John McCain, Jeb Bush, Donald Trump, zero. So when you give $8,150 to Trump haters, never Trumpers, zero Trumpers, and you give nothing to Trump over the last 10 years as they go back and look at the FEC records, it just, again, raises more flags on just making sure the guy is loyal to the messaging and loyal to what the president wants to get done. And, I mean, the president said today in the Oval Office that he has taken responsibility. And the president rightfully is framing this as this slime ball over at this slimy outlet wants to focus on this. And, of course, the media is. But why don't we focus on the job that's being done and what people voted for, and the president, his peace, truth, strength agenda, and the attacks are being how successful they've been, and then will continue to go on. And that's why I just think, I don't know why they're giving oxygen to this every time they step in front of a mic, some of them.
Right.
And I hope they stop doing it.
Yeah, you would think they would, especially since Trump has come out. He came out with a statement yesterday. Here he is again today talking about it, since you were mentioning it. Here is cut number 7. Here's the president talking about, the aforementioned Signalgate, cut 7.
Well, yeah, Mike Waltz, I guess he said he claimed responsibility, I would imagine. Had nothing to do with anyone else. It was Mike, I guess. I don't know. I was told it was Mike. But again, the attacks were unbelievably successful, and that's ultimately what you should be talking about, I think. Mike he took responsibility for it. Say it?
Should Secretary Hegseth consider his position over the signal?
Hegseth is doing a great job. He had nothing to do with this. Hegseth. How do you bring Hegseth into it? He had nothing to do. Look, it's all a witch hunt. Here we are talking about some of the greatest business deals ever made. The greatest companies in the world are moving into the United States, and you want to ask about whether or not Signal works. I don't know that Signal works. I think Signal could be defective, to be honest with you. And I think that's what we have to, because you use Signal, and we use Signal, and everybody uses Signal, but it could be a defective platform, and we're going to have to find that out.
Yeah. And again, that goes to something you were talking about last night. Is this the precursor to get rid of Signal? Because as he says, is it defective? Is it something we shouldn't be using?
Well, it wasn't me. It was more Sean. Sean from what's his name from the Federalist brought it up. That is this some kind of a ploy to get him off Signal and back onto something government that these bureaucratic elites can start to get their hands back in and start leaking to their friends in the media, which I said last night, and I'll say it again. It doesn't seem that far-fetched to me as an idea of what could be going on. I don't know. I mean, Signal just doesn't seem like the place they should be doing this kind of business. I mean, I think it's great for me and you if you want to, not have your girlfriend catch you talking to another girl or something or whatever.
Yeah.
It's encrypted end to end. The things disappear so someone can't grab your phone and see your whole history of tweeting. I think it's great for that, but is it great to be discussing when bombs are going to drop exactly and this, that, and everything else and weapon systems? And again, if this was Lloyd Austin, just figure out what your response would be. I mean, it really shouldn't be any different because it's Pete Hegseth and this. I mean, somebody screwed up. I think they should find out who it is, and I think they should find out the relationship between whoever it was and Jeffrey Goldberg for sure, so that the president knows. But other than that, just get back to kicking ass, move on, and shut up about it, and stop talking about these long discussions in front of them, every microphone that gets put in front of your face.
And as you see, for some reason, they really want. They're going after Pete Hegseth, even though, like the president said, he had nothing to do with it. He was added to the call.
Did you hear this creep who asked what's his name if he was drunk? If he thinks he was drunk in the hearing?
Yeah, we have that clip for later.
What a moron! Yeah. Just an absolute moron. So, all right, well, let's see the break. Josh Hammer's coming up tonight. His great brand new book. We'll talk to him at 8:30. Sports with Slick, news with Delgado, Aaron and Fran holding it down. Of course, you live from Studio 6B audience. We'll jump into the chat right now. Just getting started on a Wednesday. We're back right after this. Chat. What's going on a Wednesday night?
Chat.
Kimberly H on YouTube. Hello, guys. Hello.
Howdy to the Rumble chat, Rumblers.
They're all morons with their biased questions. Damon, Lorraine on YouTube. Damon, Signal is government.
I know it was government approved.
I thought Signal was Mark Cuban's deal.
That's what I thought. Howdy to the Twixters.
I don't think it was a government-conceived thing. Loyalty points, Big D? Yes, we could do that tonight. Have I done it this week? What's today?
I don't
Wednesday?
think so,
No,
no.
I did it last week. I haven't done it this week. Yes, I will. If you haven't signed up, it's free over at livefromstudio6b.com.
BBQ Rando, no. It has nothing to do with those guys.
I did not know.
But it does have something to do with something that might
Jolene
be in
Moore
your
on
warehouse.
X. Hello, Damon. Let's talk about something new. Okay. What would you like so I can speak about, Jolene? It's only the biggest news story in the world.
Yeah, well,
But we can move on.
you don't need to cover that.
But that's because we're giving it oxygen.
What else do you want to talk about?
Is it pyramid news? Very close, TurboCast. Very close.
Drag Blacker at Jody Heskett. Damon is the most grounded. Grounded's a good word. Some would say naive would be another word.
Oh, we're still stuck on who hosting a show? That's how it is.
Hey, Damon, have you heard Eric Church's Heart on Fire? Pretty cool song. I've heard a lot of Eric Church.
He hasn't heard that one.
I like that, boy.
Come on to church.
Ro Johnson, I could do 2 hours of listening to Damon. Oh, you think?
Hey, Damon can't do 2 hours of listening.
Talk to me
Damon.
12 minutes in. How do we get loyalty points when we're already signed up to your site? I've never received, and I am here every night.
Oh, you see that?
You have to join 6B Front Row. If you join the loyalty club, 6B Front Row, you'll see it on the page at livefromstudio6b.com. It's absolutely free. Just sign up for that. And then assign you points, so you'll see them in your, and then you can buy free stuff.
Free stuff.
Ba-ba-da-na. 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday night. Just getting started. Glad you're in. Slick Rick is here. He's going to do sports. Rick Delgado's here. He's going to do the news.
Sure.
I'm just taking my time. Aaron and Fran are holding it down. I want to welcome everybody on social media, watching on Rumble, YouTube, X, Facebook, Kick, Getter. Wherever you're watching, we appreciate you giving us a few hours each and every weekday night, 8 to 10, right here on Real America's Voice. Friday, we'll be back at the America's First Warehouse again as we continue to build towards live audience.
That'll be fun.
Live music.
Yep.
Live Slick in the audience with a microphone.
Talk about a tailgate party, huh? Big D. Look out! Big D will be pulling in with the tailgate.
Food trucks.
Steak
trucks.
Steak.
Those steak sandwiches. Oh, they would.
Oh man, it's going to be a Friday night party every Friday night.
Oh, and the fresh made donut truck too.
Fresh made donut truck. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Delgado
Taco
came in
truck.
with the donuts.
Oh yeah.
Delgado bag of donuts.
It's going to be fun. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And the music acts, I mean, we haven't really, that's going to come later. But we've had some great recommendations.
Really?
Yeah. But of course, we have our own Michael Curtis, you know.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Michael,
I think the kickoff, I mean, why would we not kick off the first night with
Michael Curtis?
With Gulf of America?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, that, you know.
That'd be awesome.
And then I'll threaten Michael if I have to. In a nice way, of course, to get him up there too.
We'll take him out. We'll take him out for a nice Italian dinner.
Yeah.
We'll get Garrett out there, and we'll get Michael. And then maybe Michael. I mean,
Tell him to take him out to Applebee's.
No, we're not going to do that to the guy. Get out of here, Delgado. That's where you take your dates.
What are you talking about, Delgado?
Hey, how'd you like one of those hurricanes?
So we'll have to wait and see. But I think that's a good plan. And then we've got our friend from American Idol, of course, Emily Brooks. She would be good.
Oh, yeah. Remember her?
She's great.
Fantastic.
I love Emily.
Yeah, she was great.
We could have her. And then I'm working on Danny Goki, as you guys know.
Oh, yeah. He's great.
We're going to have him. And no, we've got great recommendations.
Go, Goki.
We've got some great recommendations to do the okie dokie. So,
Moki Goki.
all right, let's do some
We're gonna
sports.
do line dancing.
Sports. Oh man, you're gonna have so much bluegrass, Slick. You're gonna.
Delgado will have his straw out.
You're gonna have hay in your mouth by the time I get done booking these musical guests. Don't you worry. You're gonna have a hat just like mine. Don't you worry.
Come on, I
Slick.
like that, man.
Don't you worry.
I could be a jacuzzi, a hat like yours. I'll flip it upside down for me.
All right, let's do sports. Sports brought by Mike Lindell. And My Pillow, by the way, Lindell's got a great deal. I posted it on Twitter right now because they had another one of these slimy box stores. I guess say they don't want to take their sheets. So they got a bunch of their best sheets. Those you love those Giza sheets, don't you, Slick?
Phenomenal. I still haven't opened up the new package I bought 2 years ago. That first package washes so well.
Yeah, so they've got a new deal because the box store, whatever the deal is with the box store, but they've got these Percali sheets and they've got their Giza Dream sheets, queen size, normally $140, now $69.99 with our code. Hello?
Wow.
King size only $79.99 with our code. Queen size normally $89.98, wholesale price $29.98 for the queen size.
Insane.
King size $34.98. So go to mypillow.com/LFS6B. I don't know how long they're going to be there. I guess until however many the box store was going to take. Once they're gone, they're gone.
Yep.
I'm assuming.
Yep.
So if you're in the place for, I better tell my wife this, by the way. Speaking of being in the thing for sheets, because I think we're in the market for another pair of king size sheets for our bed.
Yeah.
So I better tell her before they're gone.
And spring's a busy time of year for changing over linens and things like that. A lot of people do that in the springtime.
If you weren't thinking about it, just think about it, because I don't know how long they're going to be there. But mypillow.com/LFS6B if you want to check them out. So
yeah, and you can get them for it makes a nice gift at Easter.
Yeah, Delgado's giving these kids pillows for Easter. Kids want some pillow for Easter.
Speaking of that, someone reminded me today by email that Mike has a bunch of beautiful kids' pillows. They have like religious paintings and stuff, and American flag ones, like these little almost like little travel pillows. Yeah. He's got some really nice ones. I think they're over. I don't know if they're on My Pillow or on my store, but they're on one of the two.
Okay.
But our code works at both. So LFS6B is the promo code. Slick, let's do some sports. What's going on?
All right, Big D. Well, here we go. NHL action. We're getting down to the home stretch here. Just about 10 games left in the season, and we're going to be in playoffs. Mid-April already, NHL playoffs. And Rangers and Islanders are both vying for that final wild card spot that's open in the eastern side of the world here. So Islanders and Canucks tied at 0 right now. No score, I should say. End of 1. And by the way, we're not on 103.9 tonight because the Islanders are on, Big D. The Devils 2-1 over the Blackhawks, end of 1 as well. 10 p.m. we have the Stars taking on the Oilers out in Edmonton, and the Bruins are in Anaheim taking on the Ducks. That's also a 10 p.m. puck drop. To the hard court we go. Sixers right now trailing the Wizards 76-69. 6 to go there in the third. The Lakers over the Pacers 45-36. 8 to go in the second. Midway through the second, we got the Knicks leading the Clippers 44-38. Knicks also looking for a playoff spot in the NBA. The Raptors 43-29 over the Nets. 8 to go there in the second. Bucks and Nuggets, 9 p.m. tip-off, and Celtics Suns, that'll be a 10 p.m. tip-off. I'm going to preview the NCAA men's basketball games tomorrow night. The Sweet 16 kicks off in places like San Francisco and Indiana, and we'll get to that in the next segment or two. I'll run through all the scores. Just want to get to a quick story right now. So, investigation focus in death of ex-Yankees star son shifts to possible food poisoning. This is Brian Lennis and Ryan Gatos of Fox News reporting. The focus of the investigation into the cause of death of former New York Yankees star Brett Gardner's son in Costa Rica shifted to possible food poisoning, a judicial official told Fox News on Wednesday. Miller Gardner, 14, died while on vacation with his family in the Central American country on March 21st. The Gardner family released a statement through the Yankees on Sunday announcing their tragic loss. Marisol Rodriguez Solis, the head of press for Costa Rica's Judicial Investigation Police, OIJ, told Fox News the investigation has shifted to possible food poisoning as the most likely cause, but that asphyxiation has not been ruled out just yet. The results from the forensic and pathology test could take anywhere between 1 to 4 months to come back. We know those take a while. Officials in Costa Rica have yet to interview the Gardner family as of Tuesday afternoon, and with heavy hearts, we are saddened to announce the passing of our youngest son, Miller, the Gardner family said over the weekend, 14 years old. And the Gardner family stayed at the Arenas Del Mar Hotel in Manuel Antonio and ate at an Italian restaurant at a nearby hotel on Thursday. All 4 members began to feel sick by 11 p.m. local time back at the facility where they were staying. The Arenas Del Mar Hotel called a doctor to give them medicine to help with the stomach issues. The next morning, Miller Gardner was found dead with traces of vomit. So our hotel protocol at Arenas Del Mar does not allow hotel staff to provide any medication or treatments to guests. Arenas Del Mar said in a statement, the hotel staff dispatched a medical team immediately, including a licensed doctor, which arrived to handle the emergency situation. Any medical attention to the family was done by medical professionals. Our staff did not administer any medical treatment. So a little difference in stories there, as there often are with controversial things like this. So obviously we know Brett Gardner, one of the great Yankees. He played with the team from 2008 to 2021, long tenured in the Pinstripes, and he was on the team that won the World Series back in 2009. So just a very sad story. We'll see how this develops, Big D. We'll keep an eye on it. And that's a wrap in sports. Up with the Sweet 16 preview in the next sports segment, Big D. Back to you.
Oh, Sweet 16 preview. That's right.
Tomorrow night.
Who am I Florida? I got Florida winning. Who are they?
They're playing Maryland.
Maryland.
Yeah, they're playing the Terps.
Oh, me and my wife are going to be at. Well, she's not going to watch. She's not going to care. But she's she's a Terp.
Yep. I know she is.
And, of course, I hate her team because they've cost me so much in the past years.
Because they lose.
They're always screwing me when I bet on them. So
one way or the other.
One way or the other.
I know that.
So, I'm hoping they lose by 100, and she'll be hoping that they win.
Well, they're playing the Gators. That'd be the number one team. So, Big D, I think we're on to the Gators here.
Well, I'm definitely on them because I got them I got them winning.
But look out for Duke.
And I think them winning is the only chance I have to get into like the top 300.
I'm trying to get in the top 100. Come on.
Man, my bracket sucks.
Yeah.
All right, we're back with some news with Delgado coming up right after this. Now, just keep an eye. You should be doing that.
Oh, yeah. Looks like the Yankees are playing. The Yankees are home tomorrow, 3 o'clock.
3 p.m. at the stadium?
Let me see. Yes, sir. Yankee Stadium, 3 p.m. First pitch, Delgado. You going to go?
No.
51 degrees in the Bronx. Woohoo.
I'll be working, man.
Look at that, Big D. Yankees, first pitch. Where's Cincinnati? Oh, 4:10. Great American Ballpark. Season starts ending right there.
Season starts and ends at 4 o'clock in Cincinnati.
4:10. Give him a couple of pitches.
Give him the first inning.
Let him get the batter box dusted a little bit, you know. Good gravy. Oh, Mets too. Mets at 4:10. They're playing the Astros.
Are they at home or away?
No, they're on the road. We wouldn't have two teams. Generally, they wouldn't. Dodgers. Yeah, big full slate tomorrow, Big D.
Okay. Yeah, that's what someone just said.
Yep. Come on. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get ready to rhubarb. Wow. That snuck up. I'm always thinking like March 30th, March 31st, but it's the last Thursday of the month. That's usually when we start rolling.
Oh, man. Frank the Tank and the Mets. Here we go.
Good God. People, I think the Mets made a good move, but a lot of people think the Mets are going to be terrible this year.
Frank the Tank and the Mets. Let the strokes begin on a daily basis every time they lose.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cowboys' Dak Prescott gets caught up in wild trade rumor. Look out.
Now, does he have a no-trade clause? Does he have any say in where he goes or no?
I'm sure he does.
I mean, realistically, why would you want to go to Cleveland? Just can you explain that to me?
No, he got an unbelievable contract from the Cowboys. Yeah, I mean, why would you want to go to Cleveland? Well, they got Myles Garrett. But I think
does he catch a strong pass?
No, but he backs a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah, does he catch a lot of passes?
I'd love to have that guy on my team. He's got another 2 or 3 good years.
We know Dak likes throwing it to the opposite uniform, but not to the opposite side.
Oh, maybe
of the
that's
field.
his plan. Throw it to Myles Garrett. Garrett says, "I'll get more action."
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that'll be too. Then the Cowboys would probably try to make a move, get Deion Sanders' son, and then the headlines all day, all night. When did this turn into a sports show? Come on.
I had a discussion with somebody today, Slick, about sports content, developing more. It's a big need, big want for it.
Yeah.
Minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's going to do some more news. Aaron and Fran holding it down, as always, on a Wednesday. Real America's Voice all over the country. Glad you're in, everybody. Please welcome back to the show. I want to get right to him because I got lots to ask him. One of our faves, and that, of course, is our friend Josh Hammer. He's the author of the brand new book, Israel and Civilization, The Fate of the Jewish Nation and the Destiny of the West. Josh, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Gentlemen, I'm doing great. Always a pleasure to join you.
It's great to have you on. You were going to be on, I guess, last Wednesday. Now, the book dropped, last Tuesday?
Exactly right, yep.
And it's doing fantastic, and we're happy to have you on. Before we get to the book, though, and I guess it kind of ties in. There's so much in the news. Obviously, you have Signalgate. You've got what's going on with the judges. I want to ask you about all that. But one of the things that I feel like is flying under the radar is Mike Huckabee and his confirmation hearings. And he said something that, and knowing you were coming on and looking at your book, kind of caught my attention. He said in his confirmation hearings, he said, Israel in many ways is a reflection of our own heritage and history. It's the Judeo-Christian law that there is a right and that there is a wrong upon which all Western civilization is built, but certainly our system of government. There is no country across the globe that more mirrors our own struggle and our own level of democracy than does the state of Israel. And it's one of the reasons that it is a natural ally. The spiritual connections between your church, mine, many churches in America, Jewish congregations to the state of Israel is because we ultimately are people of the book. We believe the Bible, and therefore that connection is not geopolitical, it is also spiritual. And to ignore that, to deny that, would be to make it very difficult for us to ever understand how to go forward in a relationship with them. And when I listened to that, I thought, man, that is such an important point. Is Mike Huckabee going to be a watershed moment for this relationship? What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, what a beautiful statement that you just read there. I was almost getting goosebumps over here. Just a beautiful statement by a beautiful human being. I was grinning ear to ear, frankly, when I heard the news that Mike Huckabee was going to be Donald Trump's pick for U.S. ambassador to Israel, because one, he is that kind of moral fiber. Like, he's a genuinely good person. Two, he's been extraordinarily invested in this particular issue for really the entirety of his adult life. He's led somewhere between 50 and 100, maybe closer to 100 different trips for American Christians, pilgrimage over to Israel, really going back 40, 50 years now. So he's all in on this particular issue. And third, and this kind of gets to the quote that you just read there, I actually think it's really important, and I say this as a religious Jew, by the way, I think it's really important, actually, that the current or the next U.S. ambassador to Israel actually be Christian, not Jewish, because we are currently facing some people out there that are trying to drive a wedge right now through Jews and Christians. There are some people, they're a small voice, but a lot of them are increasingly getting louder. And they're really trying to convince Jews that the Christians are not good for them, and convince Christians that the Jews are not good for them. This has to be robustly rejected with every fiber of our being there, because Mike Huckabee is totally right. When we talk about Western civilization, frankly, what I argue in my book, Israel and Civilization, is that Western civilization is coextensive. It is coterminous with the Bible. When we speak of Western civilization, we are speaking of the biblical inheritance. We are speaking of the civilization as the word was first revealed to Moses and the Israelites and the Jewish people, but was subsequently built out by Christians, the great offshoot of the original tree trunk, the Jews. So we have to be in this together. We literally share large swaths of our own holy book together. This is not exactly a new revelation, but in case you're not following along at home there, the Christian Holy Bible consists in part of the Hebrew Bible there. And Mike Huckabee's an American patriot. He's the former governor of Arkansas. He's run for president numerous times. He's a historically literate politician as well there, and he's familiar with the fact that the American founders, they all understood this entirely there. So, for instance, Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin, they wanted the national seal of the United States to be Moses parting the Red Sea. Abraham Lincoln, my own favorite figure in American history, I'm very fortunate to be born on his birthday, he referred to Americans as an almost chosen people, using this covenantal language. He quoted the Hebrew Bible all the time in his speeches there. So, part of this book, Israel and Civilization, part of what I think Mike Huckabee is being called to do in this moment, and he's a perfect man for this moment there, is basically to just unite Jews and Christians, stand shoulder to shoulder like never before. Let's engage in a joint ecumenical biblical restoration project. That's what my book fundamentally calls for, and Mike Huckabee is the pitch perfect man to help lead that effort in the state of Israel as the representative of the United States there on the spot.
Yeah, I think you call it in the book a Grand Jewish Christian Alliance. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, the final chapter of the book is called The Jewish Christian Alliance to Save the West there. And, the basic argument is that we face the exact same threats. So there's three hegemonic forces, from my estimation, that I identify. three separate hegemonic forces that threaten to destroy all of the biblical inheritance, all of the West. And in no particular order, those are wokeism, Islamism, and global neoliberalism. The latter is kind of referring to basically John Lennon's song Imagine, the whole World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, basically this open society, anti-nation state agenda there. So that Islamism and wokeism, these are dire threats to anyone who believes in objective truth, anyone who believes in value. That necessarily means the two biblical religions, Judaism and Christianity there. And, another key point in the book, and it's right there in the subtitle, The Fate of the Jewish Nation and the Destiny of the West, is that it's important for everyone to understand that historically speaking, holding theology aside, just historically speaking, there has really never been a society where the Jewish population has flourished, where that society has not in turn flourished. And there's never been an example of a society where the Jewish population has been discriminated against, and that broad society has in turn done anything other than just basically fade away into irrelevance or just utter decadence and decline there. So it is definitely true that the Jews are the canary in the coal mine, and that they always have been. And the Jewish state of Israel on the geopolitical chessboard is the canary in the coal mine there for the United Nations, whatnot there. But they're never interested in stopping with the Jews. As it is often said, you start with the Saturday people, then you move on to the Sunday people. There, anti-Semites have always understood this there, and this is a very, very important point to understand, I think, for people that are trying to drive this terrible wedge between Jews and Christians.
We're speaking with Josh Hammer. He's the author of Israel and Civilization, The Fate of the Jewish Nation and the Destiny of the West. It's available, I'm assuming, everywhere where books are available. It's been out for about a week or so. It's been doing great. Obviously, you speak about October 7th, and thinking about kind of everything you said, the flourishing of the Jewish people, the state of Israel, and how it's essential to the survival of Western civilization. When you think about October 7th, how do you believe that event has reshaped the West's perception of Israel's role in the broader civilization struggle? Has it? And how, now that we're a little bit removed from it, how do you think it's reshaped that?
Well, I think it's hardened both sides, right? So, we can think of this as a grand civilizational struggle between Western civilization, meaning the biblical inheritance, and barbarism. When we're talking here about wokeism, Islamism, and global neoliberalism, we're basically talking various shades of barbarism there. So for the pro-barbarism side there, they unsurprisingly have dug in their heels. They're out there waving the Palestinian flag, cheering on miscreants like Mahmoud Khalil at Columbia University. They're pro-Hamas because they're pro-barbarism, because they hate the Bible. They hate what today we call Western civilization. They're trying to tear it down and destroy it there, whether it's their rejection of the most foundational biblical imperative of all, that God made man in his image. That's what the DEI woke people do. They reject the genuine moral equality of human beings that we can only deduce from Genesis 1:27 in the Bible. Whether it's Islamism itself, they obviously hate not just the Jews, but they hate Christians. They hate all that they refer to as quote unquote infidels. That's the language that Hamas uses, for instance, in its 1987 charter. And then when it comes to kind of the globalist agenda here, they're basically trying to, what I refer to in the book as homogenize all of us, basically stamp out all the various differences that make us human in the first place there. So again, if you're interested in destroying all that we built there, it makes a lot of sense that you start with Israel. On the other hand, I do think that it has been something of a wake-up call for many people who really care about the United States, who really care about the West, to see just the declining support in many ways of Israel in its righteous defensive war. That's kind of what impelled me to write this book in the first place there. But I'll give you just one very brief example. So a lot of people say, Josh, what does the U.S. possibly benefit from this relationship there? And I have a very simple answer to that question there. So last year, over the course of roughly 3 months or so, Israel went on this Michael Corleone baptism scene, the Godfather-esque revenge killing spree, basically against its enemies. And that culminated in the assassinations of Hassan Nasrallah, the head of Hezbollah in Beirut, and Yahya Sinwar in Gaza. Before they got Nasrallah in Beirut with that large bunker buster bomb, they got two high-ranking Hezbollah jihadis by the name of Fuad Shakor and Ibrahim Akil. I mention those names for a reason. Who are Fuad Shakor and Ibrahim Akil? Well, they are the masterminds of the 1983 Beirut barracks bombing in Lebanon that slaughtered over 240 U.S. Marines, and the mastermind of the U.S. embassy bombing in Beirut that same year that killed 60 to 70. The U.S. State Department had $5 and $7 million bounties on these two jihadis' head for over 4 decades, and nothing happened there until Israel basically just did our dirty work for it and taking them out there. So people say, what does the U.S. benefit from this relationship? Well, I'll tell you exactly what you benefit there. You get a dead Fuad Shakor, a dead Ibrahim Akil, and by the way, also a dead Hassan Nasrallah and a dead Yahya Sinwar if that weren't good enough.
So let me ask you about a little bit about your personal journey that's woven through the book, and maybe what you hope readers take out, Christian or Jewish. Talk about a little bit about your personal journey in Judaism and how that shaped your perspective a little bit on maybe some of these broader topics of faith, identity, civilization.
Yeah, so I'm happy you asked. Usually when I do these interviews about the book, most people don't really ask about this, but you're totally right. My personal story is deeply interwoven throughout the book. I would like to think that it's done in a fairly seamless fashion there. And, partially that's my call to my fellow Jews to not just talk the talk, but to actually walk the walk. Judaism is a religion of actions. It's a religion of laws, of commandments there. And, it's one thing to kind of like blithely espouse, from your mouth and say, the Bible, Torah, Israel, whatever there. It's a whole other thing to actually do it there. And what I have found as I've gone on my journey and I've become observant and religious, praise be to God, I found, frankly, that I'm also just happier and more fulfilled, frankly, in many ways there. And that's a lesson that applies not just to Jews, but to Christians, to anyone who has the opportunity, I think, to be in touch with the King of all kings, God in heaven there. And, ultimately, I really do ultimately root the vast majority of America's current woes, the current things that we are not doing right. I really do source almost all of it in declining faith, declining religion, and declining godliness there. I frankly think that if we got more Christians in good Bible-believing churches, if we got more Jews in good Torah-observant, Bible-observant synagogues, this country would be so much better there. So part of the book is definitely kind of a personal call to action. I mean, this is our inheritance. The Bible is our inheritance there. But at a certain point, you can't just talk the talk. You got to walk the walk as well.
Great stuff. Josh Hammer is the author of Israel and Civilization, The Fate of the Jewish Nation and the Destiny of the West. It's available where all books are there. And you want to spend a weekend, that's a great read right there. Go pick it up and read it. Josh, I got about a minute left. Just quickly, let me get on to a couple other topics. Number one, the signal thing. Should the administration just stop giving oxygen to this and move on? What's your take?
In theory, that's my instinct. My instinct is always don't give these guys an inch. I mean, I'm very much kind of like a double down, triple down kind of guy. But I don't think the crisis comms is going very well, honestly, for the administration there. So I would like to see a fall guy. I'm not saying it should be Mike Waltz. I happen to like Mike Waltz. But whoever the staffer was that added Jeffrey Goldberg, make someone a fall guy, say, vow that you will learn from this mistake going forward. And then I think once that happens, I think people will basically forget about it.
All right, there you go. Josh, always love having you on the show. Good luck with the book. We'll have you back soon. Again, Josh Hammer, the author of Israel and Civilization, The Fate of the Jewish Nation and the Destiny of the West, available where books are available now. Go pick it up. Josh, thanks again.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, we're back live from Studio 6B right after this. Chat. Great interview. Thank you. It's easy when you got someone that's smart on.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't need to
deal with Delgado with me.
Ask the questions and get out of the way. Ask the questions, do a little research, be prepared, and then get out of the way. That's all you got to do. Man, he's so good. So smart. I don't even know. How do you know all that? I don't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning. Right, Slick?
Yeah. I mean, gosh. Yeah, the guy's a genius. That's why he's writing books. and we're writing bad brackets.
My bracket sucks.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm doing a little bit better. We'll see.
Great questions. Thank you. Thank you, Chris Allen on YouTube. Damon, fix the chat. Nobody's coming through. I can't fix the chat. It's not up to me.
I'm out with the chat.
I don't know. Someone on X said that
there seems to be a problem with X on Apple and iPhone devices where the chat disappears or doesn't show up.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't narrowed it down to anything.
Big D, you're saying Slick and Delgado are not smart? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. We don't have much to argue it. Delgado's blowing his socks right now, probably.
Yeah, I mean,
come on.
what kind of level are we talking about here?
Right now, because we got to preview some. We're going to preview Sweet
The
16.
YouTube chat system is really bad? I don't find that to be the case at all.
We have some super chats. Not super chats. We have some gift subs. I know Child of the King had gifted some subs earlier.
Yes, I saw that 10. I think they're in the.
And no, actually, she gifted 10 and then gifted another 20.
What?
So 30 altogether.
Holy
moly! And that's it. Little light on the super chats. I guess we hit the big one last night.
Child of the King. Thank you very much.
Child of the King gifted 20 live subs from Studio 6B just a few minutes ago, and then earlier gifted 10. So 30 from her. Fantastic. Jesus Perez says, no, YouTube is good. They like the YouTube.
Damon, read the 5,000. Oh, it's gone. What?
Brooke spoke. Damon kicking Delgado again. Laugh out loud. Lori Lombardo loves KDJ. Is KDJ going to be there Friday night?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Good. We love Kevin.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday, March 26th. Want to thank Josh Hammer for joining us, giving us a few moments. His book is great, and it's available where all books are sold. And you should, if you have an interest in that, I mean, we all should, right? When you think about Judeo-Christian values and how this country was founded, combination with the principles of the Enlightenment, that's how we founded our country. I mean, that is how we founded the country. And so much of it is under attack. But I think Mike Huckabee, which is why I wanted to start with that, because I happened to hear that part of his hearing, and I thought, man, this guy could be a real watershed moment for this relationship and just in 4 years what he could do if he stays the whole 4 years. I think Mike Huckabee will be, if not, I mean, he's just going to be right up there with one of the best.
He was kind of made for it.
He will take it head on, man. He is not afraid to speak truth when it comes to this relationship, and I think he'll be fantastic. So, Josh is great. All right, let's do some news. I feel like we haven't done any here.
Yeah, it's true. We haven't.
12 minutes till the hour with Rick Delgado. News is brought to you by our friends at Freedom Force Nutrition, available live from Studio6B.com, where I'll be giving away loyalty points tonight. Rick Delgado, what's going on?
All right. Well, of course, Signalgate being the big story. Let me ask you this real quick, Damon. Are we going to be doing sports in this segment? Because I don't want to take up.
No, you go ahead. You haven't done any news, so you do it, and we'll do sports in the next segment.
Yeah, we got a big preview coming up.
All right, very good. So Signalgate being the big story. I don't know if you caught this as things got a little crazy up on the Hill. CIA Director Ratcliffe blasting off at Representative Gomez for a question regarding Secretary Hegseth and what he was doing, and if maybe something was affecting his judgment. Basically, check this out. Here is cut number 5 on Signalgate with Ratcliffe, and I believe Tulsi Gabbard starts us off.
To your knowledge, do you know whether Pete Hegseth had been drinking before he leaked classified information?
Oh, God. What a moron.
I don't have any knowledge of Secretary Hegseth's personal habits.
Director Ratcliffe, same question.
Good for Ratcliffe here, by the way.
Yes or no?
No, I'm going to answer that. I think that's an offensive line of questioning. The answer is no. I find it interesting that you want to. I'm going to answer. You asked me a question. Do you want an answer?
No, listen.
You don't want to focus on the good work that the CIA is doing, that the intelligence community.
Director, I reclaim my time. Director, I reclaim my time.
Yes, he reclaims his time because, well, he's afraid that the answer that will come, it will directly destroy his narrative.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
I'd say, hey, pipe down, you jerk. You asked, now I'll answer.
Yeah,
Shut
exactly.
up.
You want to reclaim your time?
Oh, my God. I couldn't.
Oh,
reclaim it out of your you-know-what when I'm done with it.
Dealing with an absolute fool like that.
Yeah, the House Intelligence Committee, of course, the hearing today devolved into a fury after that question about Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's drinking habits. Democrats, of course, are using this hearing to grill the officials about the highly sensitive details about the military operations that are being carried out against the Houthis. And the hearing, of course, comes as a growing number of Democrats, for some reason, they are just laser focused. They want Hegseth. Even though he was added to the call, he wasn't in charge of the call, so it wasn't his person. He didn't choose to have this what do you call it, Goldberg on the call. He was just on the call, assuming that everybody on the call is supposed to be on the call, receiving this information. Of course, that was Representative Jimmy Gomez, the dirtbag from California.
What a jerk.
It says D next to his name, so I'm assuming that means dirtbag from California.
Yeah, I can tell you what it stands for. What a jerk.
Of course, Tulsi Gabbard
was your wife drinking when she married you, you jerk? Should we ask her? What a moron.
Yeah. Tulsi Gabbard, of course, you saw, responded, and of course Ratcliffe decided he wasn't going to be standing for it, so he went right after him and attempted to take care of business before, of course, Gomez reclaimed his time because he doesn't want to hear a real answer. Here is more from Secretary Ratcliffe debunking more fake news coming from this the Signalgate controversy that's going on. Here's cut number 2. Check this out.
You know, there's so much talk about this Atlantic article and about things that were said and that could have happened instead of a focus on what did happen. So my responsibility as CIA director, one of its responsibilities is to kill terrorists. And that's exactly what I did along with President Trump's excellent national security team. That's what we should be focused on. With regard to that article, I also would appreciate the opportunity to relay the fact that yesterday I spent 4 hours answering questions from senators as a result of that article that were intimating that I transmitted classified information because there were hidden messages. Those messages were revealed today and revealed that I did not transmit classified information and that the reporter, who I don't know, I think intentionally intended it to indicate that. That reporter also indicated that I had released the name of an undercover CIA operative in that signal chat. In fact, I had released the name of my chief of staff, who is not operating undercover. That was deliberately false and misleading, and I appreciate the opportunity to reflect that my answers haven't changed. I used an appropriate channel to communicate sensitive information. It was permissible to do so. I didn't transfer any classified information. And at the end of the day, what is most important is that the mission was a remarkable success, is what everyone should be focused on here, because that's what did happen, not what possibly could have happened.
Yeah. Of course, the Atlantic editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, is who they're all referring to about his article. And of course, that was revealed that National Security Advisor Mike Waltz had added him, or someone in his Mike Waltz's office added him to the signal chat in which the high-level national security officials discussed the strikes in Yemen. Here is cut number 1, Representative Stubbe asking Tulsi Gabbard some questions about the plans that were discussed on Signalgate. Here's cut 1.
Were there any names in the signal chat?
No.
Any targets?
No.
Any locations?
No.
Was there a unit name or location of that unit?
There was not.
Were there any routes described in the signal chat?
No.
Wouldn't an operational plan contain that type of information?
Every operational plan I've ever seen has contained that information.
Yeah. So there you have it.
And that's the point. Let's just move on. Say it was a mistake. We all know it was a mistake. You've pretty much said that. Get to the bottom of who got the guy and who's got the relation. I said this the first night. The most troubling thing is who's got the relationship with this slime ball.
Right. Who knows this guy?
Right. Who has this guy well enough to have JG have them in their contacts? That's the most pressing issue. Who's dealing with slimy, gold-plated, phony, Trump-hating media personalities. That's the main pressing issue.
Or who put that person in there as JG to conceal the name, the actual name?
If that's in fact what happened, yes.
Because and I'm sure they probably all know who this guy was in terms of the reporting that he's done throughout the years. I'm sure they would have seen that name and been led to ask, is this the same Jeffrey Goldberg from The Atlantic? They probably would have stopped in their tracks, seeing this guy's name. Instead, they see JG. They figure, it's just short for somebody else in the administration that is privy to this, that is supposed to be in this chat. So there you have it again. Some more stuff as the House hearing erupted over the, of course, the stupid question from the dirtbag out of California, Mr. Gomez.
All right, quick hour 1, hour 2 coming back. It's the same thing. The same thing with Mitch back then. It's like I just shook my head and said, "Why?" And here I am again. Why?
Oh.
Ugh.
Chat. Let's get to the chat now, boss.
He must either be funny as hell on the golf course, or he's got to have. There's got to be something I'm missing here.
Yeah, there's got to be something that he brings to the table that we don't see.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
By the way, those of you in the chat just joining us, Trump has endorsed Lindsey Graham tonight for re-election. And I
well, is there anybody who's going to challenge Graham that would be a better pick down there? I don't know.
I don't. He could endorse a doorknob. I don't get anything else but this guy. Again, it's like back when he did it with McConnell. I wanted to jump off my roof.
Well, super chats, Big D. Child of the King, $20.20. Remember, this is all a show. The left is petrified of being found out, and the rhinos are scared they will reveal their sabotage. Their joint intention is to destroy America. Patriots are trying to stop them. Child of the King.
Lindsey Graham, I just can't.
All right, Les Durham comes in with $2 in a super chat. Chats wish happy birthday, Vicky High Note. Vicky High Note is in the YouTube.
Vicky High Note?
Vicky High Note. Yep, that's it. Happy birthday, Vicky High Note.
Hey, yo, Vicky.
Hey.
That's a high note you got there.
Lindsey Graham has my complete and total endorsement for election. He will not let you down, he says.
LSU Patriot goes Lady Graham.
I don't know. You got to just take the good with the bad, I guess.
Marty Kuhn in the Rumble chat. No, I have not gotten to the mystery story yet. A lot of people are taking guesses.
Well, the chat really loves Lindsey.
Only one person has kind of zeroed in on what I was talking about. I'll do that story in the next segment.
I'm going to do that story at 10:01. Stay tuned.
Hey. Damon.
Come on, Big D.
You know what? Maybe I'll give them a hint. Should I give them a hint? Want a hint for my story?
Do I want one?
Yeah.
You know what people
I
ask
hear Aaron yelling no from the control room.
Big D.
So
why?
I don't think anyone has any interest in your story.
I think they will.
What?
It actually would have been a great question for Josh Hammer. Oh, really?
Oh, don't start that stuff with
All
Hammer.
I'm going to say is
Hammer again.
Snakes. It had to be snakes.
on the East Coast, Real America's Voice, and on my end, we've got some big breaking news to get to tonight. If you're just joining us for hour 2 and you're not in the chat, you don't know what I'm talking about. Breaking news tonight. Everybody get excited. President Trump has a new endorsement out tonight, and I want to read it to you. Senator Lindsey Graham is working incredibly hard for the great people of South Carolina, a state I love and won big in 2016, 2020, and 2024. Lindsey has been a wonderful friend to me.
Lady Lindsey.
And has always been there when I needed him. As the chair of the Senate Budget Committee, Lindsey is fighting tirelessly to grow the economy, lower taxes, and eliminate government waste. Lindsey is also relentlessly focused on helping us secure the border, stop migrant crime, strongly support our great military vets, promote American energy dominance, defend always under siege Second Amendment, and ensure peace through strength. Lindsey Graham has my complete and total endorsement tonight for the re-election. He will not let you down. Everyone in South Carolina should help Lindsey have a big win next year.
Great.
Not him. There's got to be, like you said, there's got to be something he brings to the table that he
must be a lot of fun on the golf course or something, man. He's just got to be. There's got to be something else going
Maybe he
on.
makes a good chicken fry. I don't know.
Don't they have that screwy way of voting in South Carolina for these things anyways? Don't they have this open, where all the Dems can go vote for Lindsey too, their favorite guy?
Sure, why not?
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know. It's not as baffling as when he endorsed McConnell, but when we could have got rid of him. But but
he had to endorse McConnell at that point because it was either McConnell or the Democrat, and you don't. I would have taken the seat.
I would have taken the Democrat.
You don't want to lose the seat.
The Democrat would have been better.
You don't want to
convince me otherwise. You can't.
You don't want to lose the seat because then it's harder to get it back.
I would have taken the Democrat over McConnell.
It is because
wouldn't have been as bad.
Still, I'm just saying, you just don't want to lose.
It was worse. He's worse than any Democrat could have possibly been. Worse.
You just don't want to lose the seat.
That's not enough reason.
No,
not for what we put up with that. Let's move on before I start cursing.
All right,
don't do that.
Yeah. 3 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Slick's got sports coming up. Speaking of Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell, that's actually a perfect lead-in.
Oh, boy.
To this article. It's a perfect lead-in.
Okay.
Because you can never underestimate how weak these people really are, most of them. And it's this headline in The Hill tonight. GOP lawmakers press for investigations now of Trump cabinet group chat. Let me read it again. No, I didn't say DNC. I didn't say Democrat. I said GOP lawmakers press for investigations of Trump cabinet group chat. I've told you about these people for as long as I sat behind this microphone. And I always get the obligatory, no, you're wrong about this guy. You're wrong about this guy. Who, you know who's been on the radar besides McConnell and Graham and some of these others? Roger Wicker. How many times have you heard his name from me? Many. Republican senators are now calling for the Trump administration and congressional committees to investigate the disclosure. So we're going to investigate our own. The disclosure of sensitive national security information over Signal. Senate Armed Services Committee Chair Roger Wicker. Now, has Roger Wicker opened up an investigation into that, the guy who sits next to him, who during the confirmation hearings on headsets was pulling all that funny business? No, of course not. He has not. When he all of a sudden had these we got a new witness here we got to bring in. Oh, geez, how'd you know how to get her? Don't worry about it. Has Roger Wicker opened an investigation into him? No, of course not. But here he is. He wants to open an investigation into Trump's people. Senate Armed Services Committee Chair Roger Wicker said Tuesday that his committee will investigate the matter but also called on the Defense Department's Inspector General to launch a probe. We'll certainly be asking the IG to look into it, Wicker told The Hill of the incident, which has sparked concerns among Republicans over the frequency which senior Trump officials are using Signal to hold sensitive conversations. The topics discussed extensively when 5 senior officials, including DNI Gabbard and CIA Radcliffe, testified before the Intelligence Committee on Tuesday. One Republican senator who requested anonymity, of course, because he's a wuss too, to discuss the sensitive matter said many Republican colleagues are concerned. The security lapse could become a significant political problem if not addressed in a credible way. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Never underestimate how pathetic these people are, especially when they're in power. Especially when they're in power. The source said that hopefully the administration would investigate the security lapse thoroughly, but added that the Armed Service and intelligence panels will conduct their own investigations. Oh, another name you might recognize. Senator Lisa Murkowski said if senior officials in the Biden administration had made the same similar mistake, Republicans in Congress would be blowing their tops. If I recall, the Secretary of Defense gave you many, many reasons to blow your top, and none of you had any interest in doing anything. Yeah. If I recall, Mark Milley said that he would warn the Chinese that we were going to do something before we did it. And I think he's still roaming out there pretty much free, and you didn't have any interest in that, Lisa. But here they are now with their own. Ooh, we got to get on top of this. Inadvertently looping in a journalist into a text chain discussing military planning is really bad, Murkowski said. This is what happens when you don't really have your act together. Really? Asked whether Republicans should hold hearings, Murkowski said, think about what we would do if Biden were president and this came out. We would raise the roof, she says. Senate Majority Leader John Thune on Tuesday encouraged the Armed Services Committee to delve into the issues. So Republicans are all in on this. This is in the Hill. This is in the Hill. So
what's interesting is that line about looping in a journalist for a discussion like this. They're only mad because we actually see what happens when you loop in a journalist. They usually, you know what it is? They're upset because normally they do it on the down low where nobody finds out who's looping it in, who's looping the journalist in. So they're a little put off by that. They're like, usually we keep this, pretty well under hat, and we'll just have statements released by anonymous sources. But now we actually have a journalist who was there and heard everything.
And one more name in this article that you should know is there because you've heard him from me before. Senator Mike Rounds. Oh, he's only from South Dakota. A member of the intelligence panel said the Trump administration should take the lead in investigating to what extent the discussion of military strategy may have compromised national security. This is Mike Rounds from South Dakota. This is what he's worried about now tonight, voicing it to the Hill. Voicing it to the Hill. Let's see if there's any other phony names in here. That's about it. The usual suspects for weak sauce in the Republican Party. When you think fake, phony opposition when we're not in power, you think of these names. When you think of rhino, pathetic, weak people when we are in power, you think of the same names. And here they all find their way into this article because now they're all very worried. Crazy. Just crazy. All right, let's do some more news with Rick Delgado. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, I'm going to get to my story. Snakes.
There we go.
Got to be snakes, Damon.
Yeah. All right. Hammer it out.
Secret CIA files claim the Ark of the Covenant has been found.
Really?
The location of the chest believed to contain the 10 Commandments has long been a mystery, but CIA documents claim that the Ark of the Covenant, believe it or not, has been found. According to the Bible, the Ark of the Covenant was built by the Israelites shortly after they fled Egypt around the 13th century BC. Moses then placed the Ten Commandments inside. This is coming from the Daily Mail, by the way. The CIA conducted experiments in the 1980s with individuals who claimed that they could perceive the information about distant objects, events, and other people. These people are known as remote viewers. Have you heard about this guy? His name is Joseph McMonagle. He was like the most famous CIA remote viewer. Had a lot of interesting stuff that he was able to give to the CIA. It was a long-running program for them, actually. The report details on one of these tests where the remote viewer, only numbered number 32, was given the coordinates to locate a target, and they described the Ark of the Covenant hiding in the Middle East. Some historians believe that the Ark was originally kept inside the Holy of Holies, the innermost chamber of the ancient Temple of Jerusalem, before it was sacked by the Babylonians. There's also legend that the artifact was taken to Ethiopia. I've seen a lot of information on that, and now resides in a local church there. The target, according to the remote viewer, is in a container, Damon. This container has another container inside of it. The document states the target is fashioned of wood, gold, and silver, and is decorated with a six-winged angel.
This is not all like in the end zone at MetLife Stadium, is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is in the Middle East, not in the Northeast.
Okay.
The remote viewer continued to say that the coffin-shaped object is located somewhere in the Middle East and saw people in the area speaking Arabic. The remote viewer, however, was not told that they were searching for the lost covenant before the experiment began. And again, these are coming from recently resurfaced declassified CIA documents. Mm-hmm. And of course, according to the story of biblical history, it's a sacred gold-covered wooden chest constructed sometime around 1445 BC. And the Ten Commandments, of course, given to Moses by God. So according to this CIA document, a remnant of the mysterious sun streak suggests that the U.S. government has known where the Ark is for years. Pretty crazy, right?
Can we send Nicolas Cage there to go get it?
No, it's not Nicolas Cage. It's Harrison Ford.
I thought Nicolas Cage was the guy in the movie on the government Book of Secrets and stuff.
That's Book of Secrets. I'm talking about Raiders of the Lost Ark, my friend.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. We can send him too. Maybe they could go together.
That's it.
Go together.
Big D's hungry. Wants to go to the Golden Arches right now. Oh, Big D.
I have a little more interest in that, I think.
Give me a Big Mac.
This is coming from what? The Daily Wire?
This is coming from the Daily Mail.
Okay, if it was the Daily Wire, I'd be more inclined to believe.
According to the CIA, they tapped these psychics for a wide variety of operations, from locating hostages kidnapped by Islamic terrorist groups to tracing paths of fugitive criminals within the United States. The project, known as Sunstreak, gained public attention after it was featured in a recent episode of the Ninjas Are Butterflies podcast. Interesting stuff. Supposedly, they know where it is.
13 past the hour?
That would be something.
That would be something.
That would actually be something. That is very historic. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I'm telling you. Fine, you don't want to believe it. You don't want to believe in the...
we believe
in the Ark of the Covenant. I don't know what to tell you.
Gali, you're a treasure. You really
Well, while we're treasure hunting, you have a birch gold right there.
Oh!
Yes.
Maybe there's some gold in this.
It sounds like the gold.
Too.
Yeah. There's gold in them there hills, Big Dick.
Indy, down here, Indy.
Wow, a movie you've seen. Awesome.
Oh!
Snakes, asps.
Indy.
You go first.
Down here, Indy.
Snakes on a plane. Oh, man.
I found it. James Delgado was right.
James reading the YouTube sock blowing time. He's about right, James Reed. James Reed's on fire tonight.
Oh,
come on, James. Oh, man.
Cavi the Deplorable says Damon's face is going to melt.
What?
Oh, because you're a non-believer.
Big D's a believer.
Truck SC1, The Men Who Stare at Goats. Yes, I've seen that movie.
What is it, BG? Yeah, Birch.
Big Dog Namvet, 5 subs, Big D, in the YouTube chat. Thank you very much. 5.
Inde. Delgado is right. It's down here, Inde.
Indeed it is. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. You boys are nothing but trouble right there.
There are no queen sheets anywhere on the MyPillow website for $29.99.
Oh.
Wait a minute. False advertising.
Uh-oh.
Am I doing false advertising? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Maybe they're already out of them.
Let me go.
We're not known to do that.
I mean, Mike sent it to me.
We're not known to do that.
This is directly from Mr. Lindell.
Maybe it's a certain color that she wants, or he wants.
Let me say it again.
I mean, you know, you do that. This is gonna be a sheet show.
Giza Dream Queen size, normally $139. Your wholesale price $69.99. King size only $79.99. Percali Queen size, normally $89.98. Your wholesale price $29.98.
Oh,
what he said. Now. No- Sound like the blues. 17 past the hour. Let me talk to you about our friends at Birch Gold. Tariff wars, recession fears, and stubborn inflation. No wonder gold has been routinely hitting all-time highs here in 2025. In volatile markets like right now, don't sit on the sidelines with your head in the sand. Take control and safeguard your savings. That's why so many Americans today are turning to the Birch Gold Group. They've helped tens of thousands convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold. Is it time for you to hedge against inflation and economic instability with gold? Well, I think it could be. To learn how to own physical gold in a tax-sheltered account, text the word America to 989898. Birch Gold will send you a free, I said free, no obligation information kit. Again, text America to the number 989898. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, countless 5-star reviews. You can trust Birch Gold to help you protect your savings with gold. It took decades to get into this tangled mess, and they're going to try to unpack it now? How long will that take to get out of, and at what cost? Well, you won't have to worry about it if you hedge against inflation. Text America to the number 989898 and do it today. America to the number 989898 and do it today. All right, 18 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell, who I was right. I believe you have to, if you want the $29.98 queen size, it's the Percali sheets, not the Giza. There's two different types of sheets. So if the Giza ones you want, I told you the prices on those. That's the queen size, normally $139.98, now $69.99. King size only $79.99. On the Percali queen size, normally $89.98. Your wholesale price now is $29.98. King size only $34.98 for the Percali sheets. So again, if you put in LFS6B in your promo code, then go shop, you should see these prices. This is what Mike sent directly to me. So and again, they may be gone. I suspect these are not going to last, if I had to guess. So but that's what they're supposed to be. So, all right, let's do some sports. Sponsored by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is that promo code to get those great prices on sheets and anything else you want. Slick, what's going on?
All right, Big D, let's preview the NCAA Men's Basketball Final Four Sweet 16 regional round here. We got big games going on. We're going to start with BYU and Alabama. That'll be the East Regional. That will be played in Newark, New Jersey, the Prudential Center. And number 2, Alabama hosting BYU. Big D right there. Alabama, 5.5-point favorite. I'm liking Alabama in that game. I think they're going to roll, and they'll beat BYU, who's been playing good. They got a good team, play good defense, but that's a 7:09 tip-off on
Alabama's a 5.5-point favorite only in that game.
Yeah, I still think they're going to pull it out.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, well.
That's not a big line. 5.5?
Well, the lines are tight also with Florida and Maryland. Florida's a 6.5-point favorite over Maryland. That'd be number 1 Florida taking on number 4 Maryland. 7:39.
Doesn't Alabama beating BYU seem a little easier than Florida beating Maryland?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay, so I once again say Alabama, I put on upset alert.
Okay.
Just by what the odds maker's telling us on that line, that game's going to be close.
Duly noted. And like I said, we got the West Region, Big D. That'll be at the Chase Center out in San Francisco, your favorite city, of course. And number 1, Florida taking on the Terps, Maryland, and they're favored by 6.5. The Florida is, and we got Florida. They don't win. Our brackets are toast. We got number 1 Duke, Big D, Cooper Flagg, and the crew. 9.5-point favorites over Arizona. That's a 9:39 tip-off in the East Region back in Newark. And then the last game, the nightcap, would be Arkansas taking on Texas Tech. Calipari, right? No,
give me Calipari in that game.
Oh man! Texas Tech is a 5.5-point favorite.
That's a dangerous team right now. Mm-hmm. That's a team with momentum. That's feeling confident. That's got a coach that's been there. I would not want to be facing Arkansas.
I agree. Nope. Yep. And then we're going to go to Friday night's games. We got Ole Miss taking on Michigan State. Mm-hmm. That's a South Regional. And the South will be played at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. 3.5-point favorites, Michigan State University there.
Yep.
And then we got Kentucky and Tennessee, Rick. The Vols, there you go. They're going to be playing in the Midwest region. Midwest is at the Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis, Indiana. Big arena there.
Yeah, Kentucky's another team you don't want to play.
Yeah, Tennessee's only a 4.5-point favorite.
I see 4.
4.5. That's a tight spread right there. Number 1, Auburn, who a lot of folks like. A lot of people are getting on the Auburn wagon, including Charles Barkley. You know, that's his old team there. They're taking on Michigan Friday night, 9:39 tip-off in the South Regional as well in Georgia. And they're 8.5-point favorites to win that one. Michigan's been playing good, but they may run out of gas here. I think they've been playing a little over their head last weekend, and they got in there. They were a 5 seed, which surprised some, but I don't know about that one there. Purdue and Houston is the nightcap on Friday night, 10:09. That would be the Midwest region, again, in Lucas Oil. Houston, 8.5-point favorite. A lot of people have Houston in their brackets. So do you think all the number 1s get out of Dodge there, or what do you think?
I don't know.
I mean, they got to play again on the
I've already put Alabama on upset alert because of that line, so I don't think Duke is going to have any issues. I don't know if they cover 9.5, but I think they win the game. Houston, again, probably wins the game. I don't know if they cover 8. I mean, Matt Painter's he's a great coach. Yep. I mean, I don't think you can ever laying double digits against a great coach is always tough. So, but I'd probably, if I had to guess, they probably all do.
And then we'll talk about Friday night. We'll see what the Thursday night results are. And then, of course, the Sweet 16 gets reduced to a field of 8, which then takes you to the Final Four, Big D.
Yes, it does.
It's wrapping up pretty quickly next weekend. So looking forward to that. And that's a wrap on the brackets. If I have another minute, I just want to get to one quick story, if I may.
Sure.
Former NFL running back arrested in FBI's largest dog fighting bust. 190 animals seized. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. Yeah, LaShawn Johnson, many folks will remember that name. A former running back for the Green Bay Packers and Arizona Cardinals was arrested as part of the largest FBI crackdown on dog fighting in the history of the Bureau. Johnson, 54, has been charged in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Oklahoma with violations of the dog fighting prohibitions of the Federal Animal Welfare Act. Specifically, Johnson is charged with possessing, selling, and transporting 190 pit bulls and other dogs similar to pit bulls for dog fighting. Federal authorities raided Johnson's property and seized the 190 canines in October of 2024. Animal abuse is cruel, depraved, and deserves severe punishment, said Attorney General Pamela Bondi. The Department of Justice will prosecute this case to the fullest extent of the law and will remain committed to protecting innocent animals from those who would do them harm. The Green Bay Packers drafted Johnson in the third round of the 1994 NFL Draft. He played in the NFL for 5 years, including stints with the Giants and Cardinals. In his career, he rushed for 955 yards and 5 touchdowns. Not exactly a superstar player. Johnson profited, though, from the dogfighting trade, which saw him run kennels under at least 2 names and supply and breed dogs for fighting rings nationwide. And the FBI will not tolerate criminals that harm innocent animals for their twisted form of entertainment, said FBI Director Kash Patel. So if convicted, Johnson faces a penalty of 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine on each count. So he'll have to reset himself a little bit in prison. And I don't know, that might be a little light, those terms. I think you should be doing a little bit more time than that for doing that to the the animals, but big fans of the animals. And that's a wrap in sports. Big D, back to you.
All right, it's like 25 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Breaking news tonight: the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has decided they will not clear the way for the mass firing of probationary employees at 6 key federal departments, leaving in place a lower court's order reinstating thousands of terminated workers. So the judicial tyranny continues, and now you have the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which I believe is the D.C. Circuit, the Ninth, or is that the one out west? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Thanks, John Roberts, and the Supreme Court for clearly not wanting to still get involved here. And so tyranny abounds in these courts, and they all got TDS, and they're gonna. As I've said all along, this is clearly the new Russia strategy to slow down the Trump administration. All right, we're back. Dr. Peter Gali from the Wellness Company will join us right after this.
Dance.
Damon, did you hear that? Well, say it again, Aaron.
Say it again. Okay.
Oh.
Not
Jillian. No Jillian tonight?
No.
All right. Let's see what we got going on. Super chat. Any super chats? Nope. Well, a lot of people dogfighting, go to jail. Richard in the chat says they should get the same charges they give pedos. You know what? I think you could make a case for that. I have no problem with that. I agree with that. You can't do that's terrible. Terrible. I mean, what are these guys? I mean, didn't they learn from Michael Vick? Somebody said, how about that Vick guy? I think Gilly's in the chat, in the YouTube chat. Said, what about the I remember him. Oh, man. Terrible. Old guy in Texas. Okay. Many like percale. I don't know what that means. Percale.
Percale sheets?
Percale sheets. Oh, percales. Okay. Sorry. Percales. I'm busy cooking. I'm not in the sheets here. Yeah. Percale. $2. Moon Pie says, best chat, best hosts on YouTube. Thank you there, Moon Pie. Janet Carrera, slick, your jokes go over their heads. I go, nah, they're just used to me. they just dismiss stuff. Medusa wants to know, Medusa says, how much are the plastic sheets?
President Trump says tonight that he will ask Hegseth to review whether the contents of the Signal chat should have been classified. I think it's pretty clear it should have. Today, DNI Garrett testified under oath that information about attack plans should be classified as top secret. Hegseth has said the contents of the messages was not classified. POTUS now planning to ask Hegseth for a classification review.
Everybody's correcting your pronunciation, Damon.
Of what?
In the Rumble chat. Percale.
Percale? Oh. Big D's we're going back to Cal.
Percale?
Percale. I was right then. See?
No, I don't like that. I'm going with percale. Sounds way better.
It sounds more,
Percale?
Like sounds like a nice import.
That's what I keep seeing.
It's like the Egyptian silk.
right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday night. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick's going to do a little more sports. Delgado's got more news to do. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Right now, please welcome back to the show Peter Gali. He's the CEO of the Wellness Company, and he joins us again. Peter, how are you?
Thanks for having me back, guys.
It's great to have you back. Lots going on, obviously. I'm going to focus on the CDC here for a second. Representative Weldon, Dave Weldon, was supposed to be the nominee. His nomination got withdrawn, and he basically put out a 4-page letter basically accusing a couple of the Republican, weak sauce rhinos that we've become used to, basically saying he got pushed out for his vaccine stance. Does Big Pharma still have an outsized impact on how Washington works?
Follow the money, guys. We all know exactly where it goes. I mean, you remember when Bernie Sanders was being drilled by RFK during the nomination hearings. The amount of money that flows into the pockets of our congressmen and senators is just astounding. And we know that as well, the mainstream media networks are on board too, because I think I saw a study the other day that 75% of their advertising revenue comes from those goofy pharmaceutical commercials where the people are, dancing on screen before they read you 30 seconds of side effects. So we should not be surprised that this happened. We know that Big Pharma has long had their thumb on the boys in Washington.
So President Trump has nominated a new CDC director, and I don't want to have you weigh into politics if you don't want to, but do you have any, I don't know if you know her background, but boy, she does not seem like, given Joseph Lebedo sitting down there in Florida was available, this nomination, somebody who worked for Biden and worked for Obama, how do you think they came up with her?
Career bureaucrat, and I think Trump plays a momentum game. So he knows that he needs to constantly be on the move and moving forward, and if he stalls, all of his agendas get blown to pieces. So the big thing that Trump wanted to do is get somebody in there that he could get through the process, but most importantly, get somebody who is obedient. And I think that's what we got with Director Menarez, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Yeah. And look, she's been the acting director of the CDC now for a couple months. To her credit, she has done everything that Trump has asked her. She has withdrawn funding when she was told to withdraw funding. She has removed LGBTQ+++ pages from the websites when she was told to. So if nothing else, at least Trump has learned from his last go-around his administration, actually knows that he has the power to hire and fire these people. He needs somebody that will do his bidding and RFK's bidding. And perhaps in the situation we're in right now, that's what Trump needs to focus on, because he has bigger battles to fight abroad.
Okay, so there you go. A little different take on it. And I heard that RFK maybe had given her name to the president and said maybe we run with this. And I was kind of surprised. Seems like a disaster to me, but what the hell do I know? Nothing. So getting back to our first point, though, on Big Pharma. So is there anything that RFK can be doing? Is there anything Congress can be doing? How do we start to meaningfully rein in the power of Big Pharma other than maybe cutting off their ability to run commercial ads?
Honestly, I don't think the commercial ads are really the way to do it. Let them have their commercials. Who cares? There are two things that we need to be doing. Number one is that we need to stop this cross-pollination that we're seeing between Big Pharma and government agencies. For too long, taking a tour of duty within the FDA or the CDC has been part of the career path for Big Pharma executives. And that's a massive conflict of interest. We can't allow these corporate executives to have their best buds running these agencies and pushing their products through. And then secondly, and this is perhaps the most important thing, the biggest lesson from COVID, we need to insist that there's actual valid science behind these studies that the FDA approves. We've seen time and time again that Big Pharma has their fingers on the scales. They will manipulate and stack the studies in ways that proves a data point that they're trying to bank on being able to commercialize a product. But that data point not necessarily is the best data point or even something that's fully researched. I mean, we all can remember Safe and Effective from 5 years ago, right? So I think if we can promote those two agendas, the prevention of Big Pharma executives from taking jobs in the government, as well as the insistence that we actually have real science-based researchers and protocols installed when we're running these randomized controlled trials for our drugs, we'll have much better outcomes.
Speaking with Peter Gali, he's the CEO of the Wellness Company. Of course, you can go to twc.health/voice, twc.health/voice. Use promo code VOICE for one of their great kits. Speaking Speaking of COVID, I heard you say, are we ever going to get a reckoning on COVID is one of my questions to you. And number two, are you surprised RFK has not dealt with mRNA vaccines, maybe pulling them off the market? Would you like to see him do that? Does he have the ability to do that in this environment that we live in? Is it realistic to see RFK maybe limit access to the vaccine if they're going to keep it on the market? What would you like to see there?
Well, there's two things. Number one, I think right now, any American with an IQ over 60 is not getting a mRNA shot for COVID, right? So it's almost irrelevant if these vaccines remain on the market at this point, because the Americans that actually matter and care are well aware of the consequences of that. So I do think that they probably will pull them off the market at some point. I mean, when you see some left-leaning outlets start to go and say, hey, we were duped, that's usually a pretty good sign that the bureaucrats finally have permission to tell the truth. But in the meantime, I think the big thing that RFK needs to focus on is our food supply. We've seen all the headlines about bird flu and the culling of cattle and chickens and the resulting egg prices at the grocery store. But what we really need to be also focusing on is, are we going to be giving our food supply the same types of mRNA vaccines that we gave ourselves 5 years ago to a disastrous effect? Is that really what we want in our body? Personally, I think within 5 years, we'll have mRNA-free stamps on groceries just like we have organic and non-GMO today.
Peter Gali is the CEO of the Wellness Company. Again, you can go to twc.health/voice, twc.health/voice. Use promo code VOICE. Always great to have you on the show. Thanks for a few moments.
Thank you.
All right, live from Studio 6B, 36 past the hour. Let's do some more news and hear what's that. By the way, people loved his chair. That was a pretty cool chair.
Yeah, it was.
It looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Looked pretty comfortable.
It looked like a spaceship chair.
Yeah, it looked good. Looked pretty cool.
Of course, I noticed.
I didn't think I need to have one of those to sit in because this one stinks. Yeah. Harry bought. 37 past the hour. I know. 37 past the hour. Let's do some news. Here with the news is Rick Delgado. What's going on?
All right. Well, I don't know. Did you see Tucker Carlson's father passed away?
I did see that, yeah.
And he put this really, really well-written and very heartfelt post on X calling it the obituary for my father. I don't know if you want me to read some of this, but it's pretty in-depth. Talks about when he was born back in February 10th of 1941, Massachusetts General Hospital. A 15-year-old Swedish-speaking girl and placed in the home for little wanderers in Boston. I mean, just it goes through and details his father's life. Very nicely done. Very, very an extensive read. So I suggest you go check it out for yourself from Tucker Carlson. It's called The Obituary for My Father, and we send out condolences to him and his family at this time. I mean, I believe he was a extremely. I guess he was a kind of a. He was kind of one of those guys that kind of introduced his son into the world that he's in now, right? Because he worked in the Reagan administration, from what I understand.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So he was. He spent 5 years as director of Voice of America, and then moved on to be a U.S. ambassador. 92, he became CEO of a corporation for public broadcasting, and later ran a division of King World Television. So, I mean, the guy's been, he's had quite the life. And of course, his son, now everybody knows who his son is, and that is the great Tucker Carlson. So send condolences to the family there. Terrible. I don't know if you saw this, Damon, as well. Believe it or not, there's an uprising in Gaza. Hundreds of Gazans actually marching through a northern town there, carrying white flags and chanting anti-Hamas slogans, according to videos posted from the scene. This is coming from Breitbart, which showed participants calling for peace, press coverage, and the release of the hostages. It's a rare public uprising against Hamas's rule in Gaza. Demonstrators took to the streets outside the Indonesian hospital in northern Gaza. Footage shown on social media captured the crowd of protesters demanding an end to what they called the tyrant rule with chants of out, 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 Hamas out, and we want to live echoing through the streets. Protesters also waved white flags and held signs reading stop the war. We refuse to be the ones who die, as they marched in what is dubbed the Intifada of the North. One speaker at the protest declared, "We are a people of peace. We demand a secure peace for this town. We will be the ones who decide who is in control." Normally, when these types of things happen, historically, Hamas has responded to anti-government protests with swift and often violent crackdowns. The Iran-backed terror group, which seized control of the Gaza Strip back in 2007, is designated a foreign terrorist organization by the United States and the European Union. And this latest protest, however, signals that people maybe finally, the Gazans there are growing desperate and tired of everything that that Hamas has pretty much laid at their feet. So we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, President Trump's renewed vision for Gaza, entailing voluntary resettlement and economic revival, is gaining even more traction, with polls showing more than half the Gazans expressing a desire to leave. So as Hamas struggles to maintain control, protesters are demanding change from within. The stage is being set, and we could see a historic shift happen in the Middle East. So, some good news coming there. And again, it all starts with, Donald Trump laying out hey, what about this? What if we do this? What if we take over? What if we move in? We're gonna fix it. And all of a sudden, people are starting to kind of cobble together the people that are supposed to be in charge of that area, the place that they live, actually deciding maybe we're going to take control of this. So we'll see what happens. Speaking of Donald Trump, I don't know if you caught this at the White House today. Couple clips from him. Here is Donald Trump talking about. He was talking about what do you call it? What do they call it? The Women's Month or something, right? Yeah, whatever they call it.
Women's History Month, right?
Women's History Month.
Yeah, Women's
correct.
History Month. It's March this month.
Right, the whole month of March. Yeah. Here he is talking about two genders. Here's cut number 8. Check this out for yourself.
On day one, I made the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female. So,
makes sense.
Is there anybody, seriously, is there anybody that disagrees with that in this room? I was thinking maybe somebody from the press might raise their hand. I don't think so. There aren't too many people. It's amazing. It's got to be like a 98% issue, right? So what are they doing, Marjorie? What are they doing?
So there he was talking about that. Of course, only two genders, men and women. And here he is, cut number 9, talking about some of the things that have been going on in the economy on lowering energy costs and lowering prices. Cut number 9.
But the chart looks great. It's Biden like this, and then we're like this. But we also, by the way, we lowered energy costs really like tremendously. Energy's way down. Cost of gasoline's way down. The cost of groceries, a word that I used a lot on the campaign. It's like an old-fashioned word, but it's a beautiful word, very descriptive word. And the groceries are coming down, Brooke, at a level that we're finally getting costs under control in our country, and people don't like talking about it because it's so good, it's so positive. I haven't seen one story on eggs plummeting by 50%, but someday they'll get around to writing it.
So there you have it. President Trump at the White House today.
I will wrap it up. A little more news, sports coming up when we get back right after this.
Chat.
Live in the chat.
Don't have any more.
So you see this? Well, now Matt Gaetz just retweeted. I didn't know if this story was true, because the first time I saw it, I didn't know who it was. But now Gaetz has retweeted it. So Mike Waltz's Venmo.
Yeah, I saw that.
He had set to public, and it's full of journalists like this guy Goldberg on the left. I'm starting to think maybe this guy's not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Maybe I don't know.
I think I have that story here. Yeah. He left his Venmo friends list public.
What?
I mean, does that seem like, once you get this job, wouldn't you think you'd thoroughly go through all the places you would have exposure of? I don't know. You might forget. Like Venmo, it's like, how often do you use it? I rarely use it. I don't know.
But among the accounts linked to Waltz are the ones that appear to belong to Susie Wiles, White House Chief of Staff, Walker Barrett, staffer at the United States Secret National Security Council.
Did you watch the NPR hearing at all today?
A little bit,
with that Catherine, whatever the hell her name is, the lunatic who runs it? Oh, my God. What a crazy town that would have been if I had time to make it.
People miss Crazy Town. I've been getting a lot of messages, not a lot, but I've been getting several messages in the YouTube chat saying, wow, I miss Crazy Town.
Yeah, Brandon Gill, that's the only clip that matters. His questioning of her.
Yeah, I got one clip of him.
Told him that Biden retired, so that's what happened to Crazy Town for the most part.
Well, Jim Jordan had a good clip with her.
You could have had a Crazy Town. What's her name last night? Oh, she was going on and on.
Are you guys broadcast on Sirius Radio?
She's out of her
no, we are not. Although I would love to be. Anybody that has any relation with Sirius Radio.
I was with Sirius Radio the other night. We were doing Margaritaville with the Birds. They had one of the main DJs from Margaritaville Radio. He was loving us. Seriously. Got cold again, huh? 39 degrees. Dipping down. I wonder.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday night. Let's do a little more sports and news before we wrap it up. Slick Scott Sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, MyPillow, mypillow.com/LFS6B. For all the deals, including the sheets I've been telling you about all night for the LFS6B audience. Slick Scott Sports, promo code there is LFS6B. What's going on, Slickster?
All right, Big D. Well, we talked about NCAA. We got the Sweet 16 regionals kicking off tomorrow night. We also have the Frozen 4 puck drop tomorrow as well.
A lot of people have been asking about this.
Oh, yeah, Farmer Brook, this one's for you. He said I didn't cover it. Well, I said, well, it didn't start yet. It's going to start tomorrow. I have no big preview for it, but obviously we'll be tracking the games. They'll be playing in Allentown, Pennsylvania, St. Louis, Chicago, D.C., Fargo, North Dakota. Dying to take a trip there right about now. And good stuff. So we should have a lot of fun there with those games. I'm looking at that to be exciting. So Frozen 4 at Major League Baseball, Big D. First pitch tomorrow in the Bronx. The Brewers visiting the New York Yankees as they embark on what Delgado hopes is a World Series year. So we got several games kicking off. Tigers at the Dodgers, 7 p.m. for the folks out west. And
you guys want to have a little bet between the two of you, Yankees versus Reds?
No. Are you kidding me? No way.
Why not, Slick?
Reds open up against the Giants. Season begins to end about 4:30 for the Reds tomorrow, right? About the second inning, maybe the first, late in the first. This season, that team has.
What kind of fan are you?
They haven't come a sniff since 1990. I think they won 4 playoff games in the last 33 years. So please don't get me crazy now. All right, Big D, and so we're excited about that. But let's get to the scoreboard. I got to update the folks because we got some scores going on. Islanders are in trouble in the UBS Arena. They're losing 4-2 right now to the Canucks. 11 to go there in the third. But they're good at blowing 2-goal leads. So maybe they'll come back and win one.
Sixers.
I know.
Cowboys going to trade
Cowboys.
Dak.
I told my wife I can't find happiness in sports anymore. I really can't. Devils 4-2 over the Blackhawks. 6 to go there in the third.
You should find a favorite dog in the Iditarod. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You only have to worry about it like once every whatever.
Right. I'll have to get dogged by you guys for once every so many years. And Big D, moving on. We got the NBA. Well, NBA, what are you going to tell you? The Sixers lost again tonight to the Wizards, 119-114. Boy, all I see is emojis emojis of tanks in all the Twitters and all the different Sixers chats. You got the Knicks right now. Oh, Clippers came back. The Knicks are trailing 119, 111, 134 to go in the fourth. Could be all over the crying there, Rick. Raptors blowing out the Nets in Brooklyn, 110-80, 2:39 to go there in the fourth. One quick story, Big D. NFL Competition Committee proposes expansion of replay assists for certain penalties. This is Dylan Gwynn at Breitbart. The NFL Competition Committee has proposed expanding the scope of replay to allow review of specific objective aspects of a play. What does that mean? If adopted, it means that for the 2025 season, penalties for hits on the defenseless player, grabbing the face mask, horse collar tackles, tripping and running into or roughing the kicker will be subject to review and could be overturned. The proposal would only extend to penalties called on the field, not to review penalties that were missed or calls that teams would believe should have been made, like fans in the bar. Oh, they should have called that. So very interesting. We'll see. There's got to be a vote. Obviously, I believe it's 24 teams have to, 24 of 32 teams have to agree on that, Big D, but they might be reviewing penalties. Imagine the drama
That's great.
of that.
Will they start the games 2 hours earlier, too, so they can get done before midnight?
Now they're talking about the kickoff as well, moving the goalpost there. They're moving the goalpost all over, Big D. That's a wrap in sports, though. I'm going to turn it back to you.
Are the Cowboys going to trade Dak?
That's the rumor. That's a big rumor that the Cleveland Browns are interested in acquiring Dak Prescott. They wanted to retain Myles Garrett, their superstar.
What would you think about that?
I would be very happy to see that happen.
Cowboy.
I am not Dak's time has come and gone. Jerry offered him a way too large of a contract. The man's afraid to run and get hurt, and I think he's a liability for the Cowboys right now. I go on record saying that.
But who are they going to get?
The real deal
I could care less. The cap money that they'll save after they burn off whatever the penalty they have to have.
The real deal for Cleveland to make and for you to make is them to take Dak and Jerry.
Come on now, Big D. They got some good strip clubs over there in Cleveland, right by the Hard Rock. And I mean Hard Rock, the hotel there, right? They got the Rock. Hey, they got the Hard Rock. What is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame there, right?
Slick, I'm going to hit the strip clubs in Cleveland now.
I'm going to hang out with the Rolling Stones. Come on now, Big D. That's a wrap in sports. It's about time to tank the sports right now.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Delgado, wrap us up with some news. What's going on?
All right, two quick stories for you. As President Donald Trump revokes former U.S. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas' Secret Service protection as he joins a growing list of Biden administrations and family members who have lost the protection of the Secret Service, and it couldn't happen to a nicer dirtbag than Alejandro Mayorkas. The Secret Service confirmed to Fox News, per an executive memorandum from the president, the protective detail for Mayorkas was discontinued. No other details provided to ensure the integrity of the Secret Service's operations. The former secretary security protection was revoked a week after President Trump announced he was revoking Secret Service protection for former President Biden's adult children as well. Trump made the announcement in a Truth Social post saying Hunter Biden, of course, received Secret Service protection for an extended period, blah, blah, blah. Also losing protection, Hunter's sister. And, of course, now we can add one Alejandro Mayorkas to the list, and he doesn't need Secret Service protection, right? He's so loved because he did such a great job. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Who cares about that guy?
Exactly. Nobody.
You owe me a beer.
Moving on, my final story, and I'm including this because so many people were trying to guess what story I was going to cover when it ended up being the Ark of the Covenant story. There was another story from that part of the world that needed to be addressed, as experts are now even more confident, Damon, that a vast city exists underneath the Giza pyramids in Egypt. This coming from the Daily Mail as well. Scientists on a mission to prove a vast city sits more than 4,000 feet below Egypt's Great Pyramids. Last week, a team in Italy presented bombshell research that claimed to have had discovered multi-thousand-foot tall wells and chambers under the Khafre Pyramid. If true, it would turn the Egyptian and human history on its head, though independent experts said the discovery could be completely wrong. Of course, they're going to say that because they don't want to change anything that's happened, and all of a sudden it calls into question everything that they've been telling us about human history.
Wow,
researchers have said they've determined a confidence level of above 85% that there are structures identified beneath the pyramid, as well as those beneath other pyramids on the Giza Plateau. The wells and chambers identified using high-frequency electromagnetic waves into the subsurface, and the way the signals bounce back allows the researchers to map structures located beneath the pyramid. So we could be seeing the tops of, the pyramids could be the top of actually other structures.
You're digging deep tonight, huh? Literally.
Yeah.
Artifacts and all.
A little bit. Wow. So there you have it.
Have you been watching Nicolas Cage's movies?
It's not.
He's been watching National Geographic.
He doesn't go near the pyramids.
That's what he's been watching.
He doesn't go near the pyramids.
No, I know, but you know those movies, the Book of Secrets?
I know the movies, yes. The Book of Secrets. There's a presidential Book of Secrets. It had nothing to do with the pyramids, though.
Instead of the Sphere, he wants to go to the Luxor.
I'll go to the Lux. Sure.
Right now, Big D.
So there you have it. Responding to those in the chat, wondering if I was going to cover the pyramid story. There you have it.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Who knew?
Have you been to the Luxor?
I've not.
The magician, floated over the top.
The Egyptian magician.
Oh, I thought you meant the real pyramids.
The Luxor in Vegas.
I would like to go to the real pyramid.
Maybe you could stay there when you go to the Sphere.
Yeah.
Oh, if we ever get to the Sphere.
The Sphere.
Not if Damon doesn't.
The Sphere, the Sphinx. Neither one's happening. Trust me.
All right. Anything else in the news, Delgado?
Yes,
but
I don't have time for it.
You don't have time for it?
Nope.
Got to go to 3 hours. 3 hours.
I got a bombshell memo from JFK probing the CIA regarding UFO files. I'll cover that tomorrow.
Oh, boy. I'm glad I'm off tomorrow night.
Shut up, jackass.
Where'd you dig that one up?
Where'd you unearth that one? Oh, man. Come on.
Come on, say the words. Thanks everybody for watching.
All right, as always, we salute.
We got to salute our military. Get in there, big.
Yes.
Come on, pull it back to it.
All right, we salute our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, everybody on the front lines protecting us. Thanks, guys, on the show. Aaron, Frank, great job as always. Most of all, thank you to live from Studio 6B audience. We'll see you tomorrow night.